That's partly why I have so many shoes, because I feel like I'm missing out on things. I'm like, oh, what about this? Is this better than that one? Or what about this? Is that better? So, as we all know, I'm a shoe-mad shoe addict. We've covered reviews of some of my favourite shoes. We've done a review on my best shoes of 2020. And we've looked at all these amazing super carbon plate racing shoes. But the question is, what were some of my least favourite shoes that I've run in? Well, we're going to find out in today's video. Hey guys, and welcome back to the channel. It is me, Running Man Sam, your shoe-mad friend. Shoes that I didn't enjoy. Now, disclaimer, it's not these three on the top here. I'm going to change these in a minute for the next few shots. So guys, if you're new to the channel today and you're realising, God, this guy's a shoe mad addict, then please make sure you hit the subscribe button and also turn on the bell for notifications. So today we're going to go over some of my least favourite shoes. So this is my opinion. This is just shoes that I didn't get on with, whether it's for whatever reason. It doesn't necessarily mean that you're not going to like them, and I know some people actually quite like some of these shoes that I've done today. So it'd be interesting to see in the comments whether you agree with me on these shoes or whether you strongly disagree. And that's fine if you disagree. It doesn't mean you're wrong or that I'm wrong. It just means that you like certain things and I like certain things, or your feet are a certain way, or your gait, or whatever. So as you might be able to see here, we have a Hoka up here. This is the Hoka Bondi 6. Now, I'm really disappointed with this shoe, okay? I really wanted to like it. I know a lot of people like Hokas and go on about them. So look, let's just look at that. It looks like it's going to be a super comfy marshmallow, doesn't it? The foam looks like, oh yeah, that's going to be nice and comfy and cradle my foot and be really supportive for those long runs. It looks nice and wide, but it's not. It's wide on the bottom, like you can see, super wide, but it just doesn't feel as wide on the actual foot here. So this looks like it's going to be so comfy and supportive. It's not comfy at all. And it doesn't even feel soft. It feels soft to touch here, but when I'm running it, I'm thinking I've got 700 million millimeters of stack height, and it doesn't feel soft at all. And I really tried. I really did try with this shoe. I did about 60 miles in it, and I'll tell you, every single mile was not enjoyable. And do you know why that was? I don't know what it is. There's something around here on my foot, only on one of my feet, on my left foot. Some other people have said they've had it with some other shoes, and actually some other Hoka shoes. But it's just, I don't know how to describe it. Say this is my foot, that's my little toe. Here, every time I run, it doesn't hurt. It just rubs on it like a gristly, crunchy, weird thing. And that's not me having freaky feet. I don't have that in any other shoe, apart from one other shoe that we're going to talk about today, which has similar sort of grooves on the bottom. So maybe it's the grooves. It just feels weird and it just does my head in. So that's another reason why I do not like this shoe. As I said as well, it doesn't feel as soft as it looks. It just feels too clunky. And yeah, so for me, the Bondi 6 is a definite no-no. Let me know in the comments below, do you have this shoe? Do you enjoy it? Okay, so the next one we're going to do is the New Balance 1080 version 10, I believe. That's a shame with this. I really wanted to enjoy this shoe as well, and I am intrigued to try out the V11 or V12 or whatever we're up to now. But again, just for me, the foam just felt a little bit dead in this. The fresh foam just felt a little bit dead compared to some of, I mean, if we've got the Saucony Endorphin Shift or the Reebok Float Ride or those sorts of things, they just feel much more lively than this. It just feels a bit dead for me. The upper wasn't too bad, but again, just like on the Hoka shoe, I don't know if it's something to do with this or the way that the midsole, the upper tapers in or what, I don't really know, but I get that weird gristly feeling on my foot on this. As I say, they're the only two shoes. Don't be thinking, Sam, you've got weird foot, mate. It's just these two shoes, and I've got lots of shoes, 40, 50 pairs of shoes, run loads of miles in all of them. These are the only two shoes that I've ever had that problem with. So I don't think it's like a running theme with my foot. I just think, well, it might be. It's my foot combined with something with these shoes, whatever it is. It's brand new. I think they're like sort of 140, 150, like the V10, V11. When they first come out, they're that sort of price in the max cushion long run sort of area. And I just think there's so much better stuff out there. Like I said, I haven't tried the new one, and I would try the new one. All I can talk about is this one, because this is the one that I've got. And it just wasn't very exciting for me. Again, I clocked up about between 50 and 70 miles, I think, on this shoe. I really did keep trying to give it a go. But with all the shoes that I've got, I just never was thinking, oh, I can't wait to wear this New Balance 1080. I just thought, oh, should I try it again? And I tried it, and I was like, a bit rubbish. Should I try it again? Yeah, still a bit rubbish. And then I just thought, I'm not trying this anymore. I'm not going to wear this anymore. There's nothing here. Well, the next one I want to talk about, I don't have anymore because I sent it back. I do have this version of it, and it's not quite the same, but I can still talk about it slightly like this. So this is the Nike Pegasus Turbo 2 Shield, but I'm not necessarily talking about the Shield, I'm just talking about the Nike Pegasus Turbo 2. So I know a lot of people love the Nike Pegasus Turbo 2, so you're going to be thinking like, Sam, what are you talking about? We love this shoe. Well, I don't. I don't love it. I don't hate it. It's not the worst shoe in the world, but I just think it's just, for me, really overrated, really overpriced, and not anything that much to write home about, personally. I mean, the midsole doesn't feel like the Zoom X in the Vaporflies, obviously, because we've got the React in there too and we don't have a carbon fibre plate. It just, I mean, for me, I sent it back because the upper, not this, remember it's the original version, I had the sort of black and gold version. But for me, the upper ripped after 20 miles, and that was only running on the road, never sort of trails or anything like that, always just literally on the road, not gravel paths, and it's split along here. And don't get me wrong, if it was like 50 quid for a shoe, 100 quid for a shoe, I wouldn't think it was that bad of a shoe. It's fairly responsive, pretty much you can do any type of run in it, but it's just overrated. For me, I would rather run in a pair of Reebok Float Ride 3s. It was just not what I expected. Maybe it's all the hype around it. Oh, Pegasus Turbo 2, it's a brilliant shoe. Okay, I'll give it a go, and unfortunately I just didn't get on with it. I know there's actually a few people that have messaged me saying that they didn't get on with the Pegasus Turbo 2 as much as they thought they would. I had one message yesterday actually saying, have I got them and what do I think? And they agreed. So that's my view on this shoe. I know people think differently of it. Let me know below, do you like the Pegasus Turbo 2? And if you do, is it the only shoe that you've tried like this? Because sometimes it's quite easy to say, I love that shoe, if it's the only shoe you've tried. So many shoes, all these, look, we've got all these like, all these shoes here. Some more shoes in the background, some shoes over there. Because I've tried so many shoes, when I talk about these shoes and based on one of the shoes, I feel like I've got a good sort of perception of what different shoes feel like underfoot. Like a bit of a midsole connoisseur, if you like. So this feels a bit like and then I think, well, is that better? That's cheaper, it feels a little bit more responsive, a little bit more poppy or whatever. So for me, for what the other shoes in this category are like, it's just not up to standard, I don't think. Okay, so you might have guessed it. For me, it's the Nike Infinity React 1. I also didn't love the 2, but it was much better. But obviously we had the tongue ripping, so I sent that back. So I just don't love React foam anymore, if I'm honest. I just think it, a bit like the New Balance 1080, it just feels a bit, it's not exciting, it's not poppy, it's fairly cushioned, I suppose, but it just, when I'm running in a shoe, I want it to feel nice under my foot. I love that sort of sensation underfoot of the different midsoles and how one feels a bit more poppy, one's a bit more, you know, sort of snappy. And I love it. I love thinking about how it feels. And when I'm running this, I just don't get anything from it. It just feels a little bit dead. It's not a horrible shoe. I've run 20 miles in this shoe, not as in total, as in one run, and it was fine. And just the midsole was a bit just there, you know. And for me as well, the lockdown, you know, it's just all a bit. This is all a bit just naff, really. It's not. Doesn't really hold your foot in nicely. Again, I know some people love this shoe. Is that because it's just got a tick? Maybe, maybe not. I know some people just love this shoe because they love it, and that's brilliant. You know, if you find a shoe that you love, you don't need to listen to me, it doesn't matter. But remember what I said about the other a minute ago. If you love this shoe because it's the only shoe you've tried, I'm not saying go out and buy every shoe in the world, but that's why you love it, you know what you know and you like it. But that means that you could be missing out on stuff. That's partly why I have so many shoes, because I feel like I'm missing out on things. I'm like, oh, what about this? Is this better than that one? Or what about this? Is that better? And you know, sometimes they're better, sometimes they're worse. And for me, I think some people just maybe haven't. I mean, if you're going to compare this to something like the Saucony Endorphin Shift, it's the loser by miles, in my opinion. So guys, I hope you've enjoyed today's video. It has been a little bit different. Don't get offended if you love some of these shoes. I know, you know, sort of can take it personally. It's really not personal at all. It's just my own opinion on these shoes. But I would be interested to know in the comments whether you agree, and also if you disagree. You know, if you disagree, don't have a go. Just go, oh, you know, I'd love it, blah, blah, blah. I'm always open to hear people's opinions, and I'm always interested to hear people's opinions. Guys, as always, I've been Running Man Sam, and I'll see you guys in a bit.